Welcome back once again, everybody. I'm John Schwartz, and we're doing another Spartan check-in here today. And today's Spartan check-in is going to be with Brianna Lemon, a senior on the Case Western Reserve University volleyball team. Brianna, how are you doing? Everything going well for you?
Yeah, everything's going great. I'm at home in Florida, so it's a lot different than Cleveland.
I can imagine. At least you're in Florida. You got some nice weather. You can probably get outside a little bit potentially, even though you're quarantined. Not a bad place to be if you're kind of limited as to what you could do, I guess.
Yeah, I go for walks with my dog all the time, every morning.
Well, talk a little bit too, and just take us through what a day in your life looks like right now in terms of how your classes are going, everything like that. What does a day in your life look like?
So a day in my life is I actually get to sleep in a little bit now that I don't have to physically walk to class. I take my dogs on a walk every morning, and then a lot of my classes are in the afternoon. So about 12:45 every day is when my classes start, and then I kind of just have classes until 5 o'clock, and then I just do homework. I spend a lot of time with my family now. Been binge watching a lot of TV shows. I I fell in love with this new show, Manifest, and then I caught up in like 2 days, and now the season finale was last night. So I'm quite upset that now I have to find a new TV show.
Well, the most important question is, have you watched Tiger King yet? Because that seems to be the hot one right now.
Not yet, but maybe I should watch that one.
That's the one everyone's talking about. I haven't seen it yet either, but it's the one you hear the most about, I guess, right now. But how about remote classes for you? How are those going? What are those like? Kind of obviously a change in pace from what you're used to, I'm sure.
Well, for me, actually, when I was in high school, I did, we have Florida Virtual School down here. So I actually did a lot of my hard classes online all throughout high school. So this transition to being online is actually not a huge transition for me. So I kind of almost like it better because you get a lot more time because now you don't have to worry about the time walking between classes or like rushing to get to one professor's office hour. You can just kind of jump from room to room to talk to each professor. You can collaborate with people more and even like getting to hang out with your friends. It's a lot easier than trying to make plans and go places, but you still miss that human interaction that you would get in class or things like that.
For sure, for sure. Have you had a chance to reflect yet on school ending? And we've spoken with mostly either spring sport athletes or winter sport athletes who saw their seasons cut short. They couldn't go to the NCAA championships. Your season was done, but one thing we really haven't asked people, you're a senior, and I imagine you're planning on walking in commencement in May. So if you had a chance to kind of reflect on the fact that you lost that opportunity, right now it appears.
Well, that for me was like a really tough part because like, yeah, I partied with volleyball. I've played volleyball for the last 12 years of my life. So I played my heart out my last game and I got to like finish out with my teammates and everything. And my mom and I cried at the end of the game and I've never seen my mom cry before. So it was just like, that was like one stepping stone that I was planning on having this year. I was planning on being able to say goodbye to all the people that I've became friends with these past 4 years, but not being able to say goodbye to them kind of hurt a little bit. And then also the uncertainty with graduation. So even if we don't have graduation, it's not going to be the same as it would have been because we don't have senior week and all these other things. So nothing's going to be the exact same as it was going to be. So that's kind of sad. But Case is doing their best to try to give us the opportunity to celebrate our accomplishments throughout the years, which sometimes it's like, yeah, you're trying to do that, but I don't know. It's just hard.
Yeah. It's certainly a different year than anything I think any of us have experienced before. So, never easy. And there's a lot of things obviously that are different right now for sure. But, if you can, and you have an interesting background as well, because your father played professional baseball. And I imagine now you never saw him play, correct? He played before you were born, but I have to imagine you've had some interesting experiences with that, or you've, certainly probably, been to events or whatever it might be. But, being the daughter of someone who played sports at a very high level, he's a great Major League Baseball player, Chet Lemon. What was that like growing up, and how did do you feel that effect at all, I guess, growing up?
Well, before going to college, I actually really felt the effect because I lived at the same house with him. Everybody in our small town knew who my dad was. My brother's 10 years older than me, and he also played professional baseball as well. So they always pushed me and stuff like that. So constantly in the gym. My parents ended up building a sports facility when I was a freshman in high school that had 16 volleyball courts and 9 basketball courts. So I had no reason to not get any extra work in. So he was constantly like, hey, let me go take you in the gym and we'll get some extra reps in. So no matter what, like, even though it wasn't his sport, because he was an athlete, he constantly like studied up on the game to help me get better. And same thing with my brother. So that was, I wasn't necessarily like my brother in the aspect of living in his shadow, but still you had to live up to an expectation of being a professional athlete's child. So that was the biggest thing for me, is like I always had to be that much better.
Did he try to push you into softball at all, or was it always volleyball for you?
So funny thing is, they never tried to get me to play softball. And then last spring break, we also have a major league infield in the sports complex my parents built. So I just went in there, I picked up a bat for the first time, and I started just hitting line drives, and they're like, why didn't we put you into softball? And I'm like, I've seen it so many times that I just know how to do it. It's just muscle memory.
Well, you got that 50 year of eligibility potentially. You could come back, you could do your, your 4 years and 5 to play a year of softball. So it's never too late, I guess.
I thought about that, thought about being a 2-sport athlete, but
one is hard enough most of the time, and especially a school like Case where it takes up so much of your time, and then the athletics as well. But, do you have plans for the future yet? Do you know what next year is going to look like for you? Obviously, it's a little bit of an uncertain time, but do you have plans after you graduate?
Yes, actually, I will be working for JP Morgan as a software engineer starting in July. Hopefully in July, might be pushed back later, but I still have that job, which I'm very grateful for. So I will be in Columbus, Ohio. So only 2 hours away from Case, but that's my current future plans right now. And then, still gonna try to be a part of volleyball as well and things like that.
Very cool. Very cool. Have you been able to get outside to work out? Do you do anything to stay in shape while you're quarantined, or is it mostly Netflix and classes right now?
No, every single day, like when I take my dog for a walk, I go take her for a walk and then I come back and do yoga. Or like today, we went on a 1.5 mile run, and then we walked the other 1.5 miles, and then I came back and did yoga. But a lot of the time I try to get some weightlifting in, or some yoga, just to kind of get my mind right before I do any school stuff. Because now that I am a senior and my sport's over, it's more about staying in shape for my well-being than staying in shape for the next season coming up. And sometimes a lot of athletes just say, you know what, I'm going to keep eating the exact same way I was eating while I was an athlete. And I like to do that. So that means I still have to work out. Like I'm still
got to burn what comes in, I guess. But
yeah.
Well, we're going to finish this off with kind of a segment we're calling 5 faves. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, your 5 favorite things. So, or your favorite of each of these 5 questions. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is your favorite place on the Case Western Reserve campus.
I would have to say the lagoon. It's really nice to just go out there and walk around and just relax after a hard test.
Spoken like a true Florida person, that you picked the area on the water on campus. So, how about your favorite memory at Case Western Reserve?
I would have to say my favorite memory was when we beat Carnegie as a volleyball team. I believe it was my sophomore year, and we took them to 5 and we beat them, and it was just like the best experience to like work together as a team. So that's like one of my favorite experiences.
This is going to be the question that makes enemies for you on the team. But now that you've graduated, you don't have to worry about that, or about to graduate. Who's your favorite teammate that you played with?
I would have to say Emily Wolfenberger. She was just like, her and I have this love for dogs. Like I have a dog right now, and we just would show dog pictures all the time. But me and her still stay in contact till today and things like that. So she was just like a great teammate, very supportive, and kind of like that senior person.
By the way, you could always say too that, you love them all, but I'm making you choose. So that's okay. Also.
Yeah. True that.
How about your favorite meal at Case Western Reserve? And that can either be on campus or near campus, but when you're around, what's your favorite meal?
I would have to say my favorite meal is at Kinko doing create your own sushi and having like shrimp tempura, crab, avocado, and then putting mango on top. That's
You are the second different person today to tell me that that's their favorite restaurant or favorite meal. So I'm gonna have to check that out at some point. And how about your favorite class that you've taken at Case Western Reserve?
My favorite class was actually oh my goodness. It was with Professor Kovasglou, Everin Gherkin, Kovasglou, and oh my goodness, why can I not remember the name of it right now? But basically it was a circuits class, and it was the first one I took as a freshman. So that was a lot of fun. Considering I'm a computer science major and I just want to like kind of dip my toes in other things, I love taking that class.
Brianna, thank you for joining us again today. Best of luck going forward, and congratulations on an outstanding career as a Spartan.
Thank you. See ya.